Anyway, welcome to Toddy Rap. This is episode I Don't Care Anymore.
We never kept tracks.
I never remembered.
Yep.
Today we're going to be talking about a lot of random shit. We're talking about how a dog went missing, but we found it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. I got some random articles since you're here that one of them you'll like, and the rest are just random shit that you'll probably be more depressed about by the end of it.
But, as we start, obviously, we're missing our third co-host. He's gone. We replaced him with little Guillermo over there.
Oh, yeah, we should have centered him better.
You should put him on the table.
Oh, he's being fully blocked by my bottle.
He's gonna replace our third co-host, little Guillermo over there, tiny little Guillermo.
So, Bob, how are you doing?
Oh, fine.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah,
Well,
he's doing gloriously, I guess.
Since I put him there, I'm gonna start with him.
Okay, sure. Hell yeah.
So, I had a day off this week. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I'll watch all random assortment of garbage.
Yeah.
Like I always do.
Uh-huh.
So I finally watched Cronos.
Oh, okay.
What a weird movie.
Oh, I know it is.
I'm sitting there like, what am I watching?
Oh, I know it is.
And then it ended, and I was like, what did I watch?
Yes.
So what I understood from the movie
Uh-huh.
is the thing is almost like a drug.
Yes.
That like saps your soul, I'm guessing.
It gives you vampirism.
Is that what it fully was? That's what kind of
So it prolongs your life.
Yeah.
In exchange, you feed it blood.
Did he say it had to be human? I can't remember.
No, it didn't.
Okay, I don't know. Because did he eat like other blood too?
Yeah,
I can't fully remember.
I think you just have to feed it blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all I remember is like towards the ending where his like body would start to decay, but then he was just like ripping it off, and it'd be like a new layer of skin at the bottom. I'm like, this is weird movie.
I think it's Guillermo's like first feature film.
I could see that.
Cronos is his first one. No, wait. No, I believe it is because I think that one was still foreign. I think that
definitely was a foreign film.
No, I think it was before Mimic, because Mimic was his first Hollywood film.
Okay.
Which is his worst Hollywood film, but that's beside the point.
Yeah.
All that drama that happened there.
Yeah.
But Cronos was his first major film.
Okay.
And you start seeing a little bits of the styles of what he.
Well, I can see
what he's known for and what he does.
His character design. I said this wasn't very weird. Like there wasn't many weird characters. Like there weren't like monsters and floating creatures. It was just like, here's a guy that's just starting to morph his look.
Yeah. I mean, one of the big things that I love about Guillermo is just his use of legends and fairy tales.
Yeah.
And how that kind of translates in. Because that's basically what it is. Because it starts off with, like, you see that old alchemist and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He dies. So he goes into that legend aspect of stuff like that, especially in alchemy and things like this. I mean, it's something that you see now in his newest book that he released with Chuck Hogan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I think you told me about it.
Yeah, but there's a little bit of that in there as well.
Okay.
Just ideas of... Because, monsters is a big part of what makes him him.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is, like, occultism and just the idea of, like, the fairy tales and all that. The weird shit, you know, that hides in the margins.
He doesn't do anything normal. I can tell you that much. I've yet to see any normality.
I'm excited to see what he does with his new film. Because there's no creatures. There is no monsters. There is no...
The Pinocchio one?
No.
No. His other one?
His actual feature film.
Oh, okay.
Nightmare Alley.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's a noir film. It was a noir film. It's considered carnival noir. Because the main setting is a carnival.
No. So it's just noir...
Yeah.
Shot in a carnival.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's a noir film. It's like this psychological thriller.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how it does.
I don't think it'll be too bad.
It has a pretty stacked cast too. I don't fully remember.
At this point, I'm not surprised.
I'm not really. There's a lot. I'm excited for that.
For this movie, though, the only other person that stood out besides obviously the main character, because you see him all the way through, is that the weird guy with the chiseled jaw. He's a very squared face.
Oh yeah.
I can look up his name.
Fuck, I don't remember. Ron Perlman's in that movie.
Who's he in that?
Oh fuck, what's his name? I think his name is Angel.
Oh, is that? I think that's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at him like, man, he looks familiar, but his face is so like.
It's Ron Perlman.
That makes more sense.
That was the first movie he did with Ron Perlman. Was
Okay.
Cronos. Yeah.
Because I was like watching him, like, this guy looks familiar. I know I've seen him before. You know, I'm not gonna look up who it is. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, he's got a really square face. He's very broad, very weird looking man.
Yeah.
But he's perfect cast for anything he does, I think, because he has that almost monsteristic look to him.
I mean, I think because ever since then he's been in a lot of Guillermo stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he knows Spanish too, which helps.
Yeah, especially the Hollywood stuff.
Yeah.
Because you have Hellboy,
Yep.
both of Hellboys. He's in Blade 2.
Well, I guess he is.
He's in Pacific Rim.
Yep. Not 2?
No.
I haven't seen that, so I wouldn't know.
I don't think he is. I don't think he would do it if Guillermo wasn't directing it either. I mean, this is the whole reason why he didn't do the newest Hellboy.
Yeah.
It's because Guillermo wasn't doing it. No, and then I think that's it. He might be in Nightmare Alley now. I think he is in Nightmare Alley.
I wouldn't be surprised.
So.
Because basically he just hires friends, and you know that normally works out well, as you can see with the John Wick movies. You just hire like friends, and it's like, oh, we'll make a movie. Like, oh, sure.
Hell yeah.
$1 million movie.
It's almost like every Wes Anderson movie at this point, too.
I feel like there's a certain circle of certain people that like, we're making a movie. Now you gotta hire all these people. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, that's just how it works. It's like the first Wes Anderson movie, I think, has Owen Wilson in it. And they've been friends forever.
So, yeah.
They've been they grew up together.
Yeah. At least you know you're a good director is when you can keep people like that as your circle, I guess. Which I think is fine for directing.
Yeah, it's just interesting. It's interesting when you see that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So you've seen Cronos now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember of his films which you... Oh, you haven't seen The Devil's Backbone yet.
I haven't seen Devil's Backbone.
That's the one I think...
That and Mimic is another one I haven't seen.
You don't need to watch Mimic.
I'll probably... At this point, I'm almost caught up on his stuff. If I find it for free, I'll watch it.
Mimic's one of the reasons why Norman Reedus ended up in Death Stranding.
Oh, really? Norman Reedus and his amazing fetus was because of that movie?
Whoa. There's a few steps, right? There's a few steps in between, right? So obviously, before Death Stranding, if we're going to go from Death Stranding backwards, before Death Stranding, he was going to be the main character in Silent Hills.
Yeah, PT,
right?
PT or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, exactly. So obviously, the Death Stranding was made only under Kojima, right?
Yeah.
So obviously, PT, or Silent Hills, was going to be a creative duo between Kojima and Guillermo.
Yeah.
And Guillermo was one of the persons that kind of helped endorse Norman Reedus for the role. Because he worked with him in Mimic.
He's like, oh, I like him. Throw him in
and then obviously, you know, he has like that popular face to him and stuff because
he's got a good face, and he's also got a good like stoic voice. He's just well-rounded for that type of character.
And then he was a pretty big name too because of The Walking Dead. So not only does he have this endorsement by the creative director of the game, but you know he has that popularity as being the one character that's not from the comics but ended up popular than any character that is invulnerable and never die.
What are you talking about? They're gonna kill him off next season.
I don't even know what's happening in that show anymore.
I haven't seen it since like season 2. So at this point, it's like, what are we on? 30?
I watched it until they introduced Negan because I love Negan's character in the comic.
Yeah.
And then I stopped caring.
That sounds about right. Ooh. I said I don't remember because I get it confused because I read some of the comic. I never finished it, and I don't remember which one left off in my mind at what point.
Oh, I mean it's very different too. They changed where deaths were and how.
Well, I know they did that. Well, that's TV.
Yeah.
You gotta kind of have to. It's like this character's popular, so let's eke him a little bit longer.
Or
he sucks ass and kill him
or it's just to throw off people who know the source material.
Yeah, that helps
that's another one too.
But I don't know if that's better or worse.
It depends. I think it depends how it's paced.
Yeah, but in my mind, I think it's worse no matter what. Because there's no winning basically
Yeah.
in that scenario, because now you have people that are saying like, oh, you didn't follow the material. Why? Oh, this is stupid.
I mean, you have a vocal minority, right, that do that.
Yeah. Well, that's normally the minority that complains.
I feel like every comic book movie's like that. I know I suffer from that on certain movies anyway. But I know. But I understand at certain times why things are done, right?
Yeah.
Like, I can look at Lord of the Rings, and I could tell you, I mean, there's a lot of changes to the source material.
Yeah.
But I feel like the changes they made were to the benefit of the story in overall.
Yeah.
Because it actually provides a story. Because J.R.R. Tolkien was writing a history book. Not really... he was writing an epic.
I can't wait.
In the old-fashioned way.
I can't wait for them to do the
Silmarillion
movie. It's going to be great. And I want them just to do it like word for word in the book.
Oh, no.
So it's just going to be like, and this guy wrote
this. It is
this
a dramatic
like,
retelling of the Bible.
Pretty much.
Basically, it's what it is.
The worst part of the Bible. Not even the killing part. Yeah. It's just
well, I mean, I guess it'd be a little bit more like the Poetic Edda. Because that's kind of what he borrowed from.
No.
It's funny, too. I mean, this is funny. I just saw it. I remember the video. And they were listing the names of dwarves that were in the Poetic Edda.
Okay.
And you can pick a lot of them out, and they're the names of dwarves in Lord of the Rings.
I mean, that's not surprised at all.
Obviously not. I mean, that's what he did. That's what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And anyway, he just wanted an excuse to justify this crazy
language
that he created.
I'm just going to steal this name. No one will know
and that's what he
I die.
And actually, when he made Lord of the Rings, he wanted to make like because he believed England didn't really have like legends to it other than like King Arthur.
Yeah.
And that was about it. There was no.
I guess that's
there was no mythology.
Yeah.
To it, right?
Yeah.
Not in the same way that you have the Scandinavian traditions of the Norse,
Asia,
or the Celtic traditions and stuff like that.
Everyone,
all around.
Yeah. Where everyone has their own thing.
Yeah.
They had Jack the Ripper. He's by far the craziest.
Jack the Ripper was probably there only a couple years before he was.
I know. That's the myth, the legend.
But I mean, so that's what he wanted to do, right?
Yeah.
But we went way off topic there, just meandering through.
That's fine.
But as far as like Guillermo stuff, I mean that's a big thing. What I love about what Guillermo does, he does the same thing as what Tolkien loved and stuff. He takes those legends. You could definitely see it like in Hellboy 2.
Yeah.
Which is more him than comic at that point.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cause if you have read any of the comics, there is parts that he takes, but it is more meandering through.
Yeah. Because the first one, it's pretty easy. You could pinpoint where his inspirations are.
Yeah.
From the comics. Once you start going into the second movie, it's all original.
Yeah.
Other than like characters, like he introduced the ectoplasmic scientist and stuff like that. That guy's in the comics and stuff like that. So he introduced characters, but I mean, he injected ideas that for him actually show up a lot in stuff.
Yeah.
Ideas of evil tooth fairies. I mean, if you
he's never done anything with that before.
If you watch Don't Be Afraid of the Dark, there's that one as well. Which is another movie you should watch.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's not it's not the best movie, but it's a good movie.
I've seen clips from it with the creatures.
It has an aesthetic.
Yeah, that's what it's going for.
Yeah, which is nice.
Yeah,
I do enjoy that. Other things, he introduces something that he uses a lot, like the Troll Market.
Yeah,
which is he has a whole kid series based basically on that.
Just what I want to watch. Trolls fucking doing all that shit.
I know, I'm just saying, but I mean, it's just something that's there. It's part of what he does and what he likes to do.
I know.
It's like that weird.
I'm just picturing it as a kid's movie. Like, I don't know.
It's a show. It's like it's a weird hero kind of like your traditional kind of Saturday morning cartoonish show.
Yeah.
But with his like specific brand of fantasy.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, it's we'll see what happens when Pinocchio comes out too, because that'll be the same thing.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
because reading the original story and him trying to grab that, it's gonna be weird.
Oh yeah,
to say the least.
Even just like the setting of it, it takes place in fascist Italy and stuff, and I'm just like, oh boy.
I do wonder what languages, if they're gonna do multi like he always does, like if it's gonna be Italian and English.
Maybe.
Because that's how Cronos is. That's how like 90% of his movies are like half Spanish, half English, except for Hellboy, but that's more of a blockbuster.
Same with like Pacific Rim.
Yeah, it's a blockbuster too.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like his movies are like that. Well, Crimson Peak's not, but it takes place in England too, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
But you see like his originals. The Devil's Backbone's all in Spanish. Pan's Labyrinth is all in Spanish.
Yeah. Was Cronos in Spain, or where was that located?
It takes place in the U.S.
Does it?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I can't remember.
Yeah,
I just remember that
it takes place in the U.S.
I remember the setting being very like normal. I just didn't know if they just brought it to Europe or something.
No, it takes place in the U.S.
There you go. That makes sense.
It's not like for the Devil's Backbone and Cronos.
Yeah.
Not Cronos. Pan's Labyrinth. Those are very specifically in Spain.
Mm-hmm.
During
I know that
during a very specific time period.
Yeah, it was during the. It was one of the wars, right?
Well, so it's during. They take place during the fascist regime of Franco.
Okay.
Yeah, which would be after the Spanish Civil War.
Yeah.
About World War II-ish era.
Okay.
Because Spain decided to stay.
Because I do remember in Pan's Labyrinth, it's been a while since I've seen it, but I do remember a lot of like fighting was going on. I was like, I don't know what's going on here.
Oh, because it says at the beginning, it's like in the aftermath of the Spanish Civil War.
Yeah.
Because that's what it was. After Franco established his regime over Spain,
yeah,
obviously there was people who tried to fight the regime. And it's funny because all this is going down at the same time. You know, the rest of Europe is on fire with Nazi Germany.
Man, it sounds like another country I've heard of. That's going on right now.
But I just think it's funny. It's like, and it's funny when you look at Franco even as a dictator, how all the other dictators were like, yo, yeah, we'll be buds. Yeah, we'll all go to war together, right? Because Stalin basically did, Hitler did, Mussolini did. And he's like, you know what? I'm good. I'm gonna stay here.
He's like, this little country I got, I'm good here.
And his regime ended up going into the 70s. Which, compared to the other...
yeah, because they got, like, straight up killed. He's like, you know, if I just stay out of things, I can own this land.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, and I think why he does this, I mean, personally, right? Yeah. I think it's supposed to be a juxtaposition, a contrast, between, like, this very magical or just supernaturalness and the rigidity of what is a fascist regime.
Okay.
Kind of just like meshed.
So they slap them together and see what happens.
Exactly.
Yeah. I can see that in his films.
Yeah, Pan's Labyrinth, that's like super apparent. The Devil's Backbone is kind of there as well. Okay. Yeah. And he also, another like a theme he does is the idea of making his monsters more human than humans.
Yeah. Well, you can see that in Shape of Water, where more humanoid than the people that are working on him.
Yeah, exactly. Hellboy's another example of that. Yeah. And that's very much established in things like The Devil's Backbone as well, where the ghost and stuff appears and seems more human than the humans. Yeah. Yeah. I
do see that. But kind of going with the water one, Shape of Water.
Yeah.
We're probably going to watch Cold Skin next week.
Oh, yeah!
So we can talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
Because Cole, as I said, I'll just give a brief synopsis.
We haven't watched it yet.
It's basically Shape of Water, but they live in a lighthouse, and they shoot other shapes of water people.
I think it's like almost...
I don't know how to explain it fully without spoiling like all the stuff that happens. It's very weird.
Well, if we're going to pull from a lot of places, I think it for me, it feels a little bit like Carnival Row, which you haven't seen, but that show. Obviously, Shape of Water elements. Yeah. Obviously, Lighthouse elements. Mm-hmm. And then if we're going to just go off of literature, there's very Shadow over Innsmouth elements, which is a Lovecraft story. It involves fish people. It involves fish people.
That makes sense. I can see that.
So.
Because they do praise the moon.
That sounds very much like Shadow over Innsmouth.
Because all I know is at the moon, they go, and then they go, so that's all I know that happens, and I was like, maybe we should watch this later. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff I found on Shudder that we should probably watch that aren't like scary, but it's more just like the monster weird stuff.
Yeah, it's just the weird shit.
I know, the Whaling's on there for Bob. I moved it to there, so I want to get that one watched again too.
We've talked about that one. I haven't looked when that guy's new movie comes out.
Oh yeah, I forgot that he was putting out a new one.
Yeah,
probably should look into it.
I don't remember.
We'll look into it later.
Yeah, we'll look into it later.
But there was a few I saw in there. I'm like, oh, these aren't like scary, but they're in the monster horror. I don't know what you'd consider these.
Monster movies.
Yeah, I guess that's under Shudder. It's technically a horror. Yeah. So I was like, oh, we'll watch these later. I won't really push too far into the void of horror. So I was like, we'll do that. You got anything real quick?
No,
keep going.
I mean, I can keep gushing over Guillermo forever. So that's
never heard of him.
That's just favorite director. If you can't tell.
Who?
But exactly. But I mean, I do like his full body of work and everything like that. So I'm happy you watched it.
Yeah, I was like, I got time, and I literally don't have anything else to watch. I've probably seen all the documentaries on Netflix at this point. I'm just like, fuck it. I'll sit through Cronos.
It's fun watching like his older stuff.
Yeah.
Like I've sat through some of his old short films.
Okay.
And they're just gnarly, dude.
So I had no expectations about this movie. All I knew is you told me to watch because about Guillermo. I'm like, it's probably going to be weird. That's all I knew. And then all I know is from the cover, or I don't even know if it's a legit cover or the HBO cover or Netflix cover. I can't remember. Where it's just him holding the thing to his chest.
Oh, yeah.
That's only the whole cover, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Mignola made a cover for it.
No,
he has his own movie cover for it. Yeah.
I'm not surprised. Is it the same thing? And you're just like, what the fuck is it?
No, it just shows. I think it just shows the device,
oh.
like kind of cut off.
That makes more sense because the device is like 90% of the plot of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Where everything else is like, stuff is going on.
It's around. Yeah.
But it was just funny. I was just like, I didn't expect this. So I'm like, whatever. Worth the watch.
It's great. I love it.
Yeah. Would I watch it again? Probably not.
I mean, I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah.
I might go back and
it's entertaining.
Might go back and watch it.
But it's not like, I wouldn't say it's like a Hellboy or something that has that rewatchability.
It's not a fun movie.
No, it was very sad.
Yeah, it's not a fun movie.
I don't even know if it's fully sad. It's just in that dark, sad area.
I feel like a lot of his originals are not fun movies, in a sense.
Well, he never wants to have fun movies, it seems like. He's just like, I got a dark story, but, there's these cool monsters. You'll like this design.
I mean, like, thinking of Pan's Labyrinth and The Devil's Backbone, they're not fun stories. Like, because it's funny, because when you look at his, like, Hollywood stuff, obviously, I feel like things need almost like a certain Hollywood filter.
Yeah.
Right? There has to be some form of happy ending or something like that.
Yeah.
Unless you're going really art housey and then whatever's, right? You can get like Requiem for a Dream. Weird.
True.
But I do think that, because when you look at stuff like Crimson Peak or The Shape of Water, I would say those two specifically, because the other ones are very like campy in your face action stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
you're pushing Michael Bay in a little bit of his. Like, I guess I got to do this.
Because like Blade 2 is action horror. Yeah. Hellboy is kind of in that.
It's definitely action horror. There's nothing else you consider.
Superhero-ish, darker superhero-ish stuff. Which actually makes me sad thinking about it now, how he was supposed to do a DC Dark Universe as a film with Constantine and Swamp Thing and stuff like that.
Yeah, but that died before it even got running.
Yeah. Well, it was there for a while, and then...
Yeah, but the main thing that killed it...
And then DC stuff all kind of went blah, 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 blah.
Nah, fuck that shit, man. It'll be interesting to see, but...
Because I feel like those are... I mean, I would love him to make a Constantine movie. It'd be great, yeah. Of any, like, other superhero thing... I mean, because I wouldn't mind other adaptations of Mignola's works, but everything else is a lot more niche than even Hellboy.
Yeah, Hellboy's probably the most in the spotlight of his.
Exactly, everything else is super niche. So I feel like any of those would fit very well with what he does.
Yeah.
But if we're gonna go like the bigger heroes or the bigger comic book lines, I do feel like for DC, like Constantine would be a really good one.
Yeah, that's the only one I could really see, because it has that...
It fits that style.
Yeah, it has the weird monsters, and you get that weird sci-fi-ish, I guess. Sci-fi-ish stuff.
Yeah, and there's the occultism, and then like the mythology and the magic.
And,
and I feel like that's why I feel like all the stuff in that style. Another thing too... Well, that one's a little rough. I mean, we're going to see an adaptation pretty soon anyway, so we'll see how it goes.
Well, which one?
Sandman.
It's gonna be bad.
Because I feel like, it probably is. I feel like Sandman is in that same place of weirdness.
Yeah,
that
but
fits his style.
I feel like it fits his style, but doesn't have those like monster elements in my mind.
It's a little bit like I mean, it's trippy.
Yeah.
Because it's dealing with dreams and dreaming and the weirdness of humanity and the darkness of their dreams, right? And like Sandman as a concept is just so good. Yeah. It's really good. Which, I mean, we'll see how it goes. The audio drama they did for it is great.
Is it?
It's really good.
I don't think that's
it's not
hard,
the same
though.
cast, but it is really good.
I feel like audio dramas are easier. It's almost you're basically doing book, and then it's one a little higher because you're just reading a book.
But I mean, they act out all the voicing and stuff like that.
Well,
like it's all fully.
Yeah, but that's normally not the issue when it comes to movies.
Yeah, I feel you.
Because normally the issue to me when you adaptate something is you don't always grab the good stuff. As you can tell on the newest Hellboy. They didn't grab any of the good stuff. No. They're like, I grabbed the Hellboy, and then that's all I need. I don't need the rest of the story. And you're like, well, okay.
But I mean, it's like especially because it's a series, it's not a film, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like that's the thing with the audio drama. It's not like it's super long either. It's split. They divided the chapters into almost like half-hour episodes. Yeah. And so when you hear it, you can almost like see it in your head as if it was
visual
filmed, right?
That's true.
And I mean, it is carried by, obviously, by its voice acting and stuff. And you have James McAvoy's Dream and stuff like that. Taron Egerton is Constantine, which was fun to hear that. It's not the voice I would have heard for Constantine, but, but it was still interesting. It was fun.
I can see it. Yeah. So it'll be fun. It'll be interesting to see if it comes out good or not. Yeah. If it's something you like, we know it's going to be ass. So, you and him kill all the good things in the world. Fuck you. You killed PT. You killed PT.
Konami didn't kill PT. Guillermo killed PT.
Yep. He's like, I'm going to work. Yeah, I'm going to move this up, make him a little bigger. A little small. But, yeah, as I said, it'll be interesting to see him move on, like, from that stuff. Yeah. He's normally done. But.
Yeah. Speaking of directors with certain aesthetics, right? Okay. I'd like to move on to another thing we watched this week, right?
Batman?
Yeah.
Oh, I watched this mob thing, too. That was pretty good.
Which one?
It was just a mob documentary.
Oh, nice. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. You ever seen Boardwalk Empire?
I've seen parts of it. I haven't finished it.
You haven't seen Peaky Blinders either, right?
I haven't seen Peaky Blinders. That was another one I was going to watch. The newer one. Not the old one. The newer one.
Yeah, no, yeah.
But I think it's only one season? 2 seasons?
Peaky Blinders? Yeah. No, it's like 4 seasons.
Is it 4?
It's like 5 seasons now.
That's probably more the issue.
And the cast just gets further and stacked the further it goes.
So that's probably more the issue. It's just like, there's too many episodes. Yeah. That's why I haven't gone through Game of Thrones. Like, I've read up to the thing. I'm like, but there's like 4 more seasons. I don't want to watch this shit. I got time.
Because the cast is great. I mean, it starts off with Cillian Murphy.
Which one are we talking about?
Peaky Blinders.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah. It starts off with Cillian Murphy and Sam Neill.
Okay.
And then from there, Tom Hardy joins and Adrian Brody joins, and it just becomes this like.
So those are shows that I kind of want to watch, but it's like I need to dedicate at least 3 months. It's
like how we still have to finish The Man in the High Castle.
We're gonna probably finish the Prime. There's so much stuff we have to watch on Prime. At some point, I'm just gonna end up watching it and forget about it because it's 16 hours probably worth of content we're gonna watch. So at some point, if I remember, the problem is I never use Prime for its videos unless it's something garbage.
Yeah,
I always forget it's there.
It's for me. It's only when I'm looking up certain things.
Yeah.
I mean that's where I watched Dororo.
Yeah,
because it was there. That's where I watched Vinland Saga because it was there.
Yeah. So there's to me it's niche. Like,
oh yeah, super.
Or I'm looking up to rent something basically.
Oh yeah.
Because like in my head, if I'm bored.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I gotta watch something because I have ADD, I guess, and I can't be quiet. So I'm like, it's normally, at this point, it's probably Prime, but Prime doesn't update as much. Or sorry, not Prime. It's HBO. HBO doesn't update as much, so it's normally like, what's on my list? And I'll go through that quickly. And then it's Netflix. And then like, YouTube, and then maybe Prime if I remember by the end of it.
Oh, okay.
Because I just forget that it's like, oh yeah, I have Prime, and I click on it, and it's like, this is recommended. I'm like, garbage, never heard of. That's a C movie.
That's a C.
It's not even in a B movie. What the fuck is that doing here?
Oh yeah, for real.
So it's just like, fuck you, Prime. Garbage. Anyway.
Well, so where I was going beforehand,
Yeah.
we're going to talk about Gendy Tartakovsky.
Primal.
Just
Primal. That's it.
Primal.
That's all he's ever done. It's crazy.
Sure.
I've learned, just like Wendy's Willy Wonderland, my favorite movie.
Oh, okay.
You don't need any lines in a movie.
You don't.
They should have just muted this whole thing. We should just play it in the background right now. Then we get copyrighted like every video.
I mean, it's funny when you look at his work because there's a divide, right?
Yeah.
He has a silent protagonist,
Yeah.
like side, and then the goofy
Loud
side.
and goofy.
Yeah. Because I mean, you have Dexter's Laboratory, which is
Loud
great.
and goofy.
It's,
Yeah.
He did Hotel Transylvania, which is the thing I was saying I didn't know he did.
Why? The movie was decent. I don't know if number 2 was good.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I only watched the first because I looked. I'm like, oh, I forgot he did this. I only watched the first one.
Man,
There's 3 of
fallen
them
so far. There's 3 of them.
Yep.
I know there's a TV show too. I don't know if he directed it, but I know there's a TV show.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's one of those things. I was like, but then obviously you have your silent protagonist ones, right? Which one of the big one, right?
Primal.
Well, I guess now, right?
It's huge.
Sure. Samurai Jack.
Yeah.
Is the super big one.
Yeah.
Yep.
It got canceled, so it wasn't that big.
I guess.
No, I do like all his stuff. At least just the 2 silent ones are really good.
Oh yeah.
The Dexter Laboratory is good. You know, it's
fun.
It's a
Cartoon
kids
Network
movie.
show,
It's a kids TV show.
Yeah.
You can't mess that up too much. I guess. I don't know. But for me, Primal, oh man, if I had to choose between the 2, I'd still go Samurai Jack because obviously there's 40 more episodes. It's a little easier to choose by. But it'll be interesting to see what happens to Ooga Booga towards the later stuff. Because how HBO did it, they had the first 5 episodes.
Yep.
And then, fuck man, how long's it been? Since the start of COVID almost? Because we were watching it in the van. So, half a year?
Mm-hmm. Well,
8 months?
Well, it's also, I think it also
HBO?
depends on when they came out. Because I think the first 5 episodes came out all at once.
Yeah.
And then the other 5 came out like every 1 month or so. Or every other month. And now they've announced the season 2.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to see if I could find.
But it's supposed to air this year. But I don't think there's a release date.
You know, looking
anything
up
on it.
Primal is not the best thing for news. Because when you click on news, you get tons of Fortnite.
Why?
Because they had a Primal thing. So.
Like from the show kind of thing?
No, just caveman stuff.
Ooga Booga stuff?
Yeah. So, 10 days ago. Fortnite Chapter 2, Season 6, Primal launches.
Oh, boy.
So, for all you Fortnite fans, get ready to spend more money on a game, I guess.
On Ooga Booga stuff.
On Ooga Booga. So, it looks like November 1st, 2020 was the last episode of this season. So.
What number would that be? Would that be 10?
10. That's 10.
So it was 10, okay.
Yeah. That's what I'm just trying to find if I can.
So they dropped on that cliffhanger and then
So season 2 returns October. Yeah, this October.
Of 2021.
2021. Yep.
All right, sweet. Hell yeah.
And it's renewed for 10 episodes.
You know what I like about his stuff? He has a very distinct way of animating things.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Like the way he decides to frame things and the way he paces shots and how he does things. I feel like it's very different. For instance, I'm a person who I appreciate different animation styles.
Yeah.
This is something especially in anime, which is something, I think you see a really big difference in that.
Yeah.
You'll take some like the weird Shaft stuff.
To me, it's like you have like 3 or 4 different types of groups. So you have the CG garbage, like X Arms. That's top tier.
Top tier CG garbage.
Any CG. Okay. No, just any CG of all time.
Okay.
Then you have big budget.
Okay.
Which is like what? Fate.
Yeah, sure.
Ufotable.
Uh-huh.
Then you have cartoonish, which is like Trigger.
Uh-huh.
And you got basic.
Uh-huh.
Which there's a lot of people under basic.
Well, I feel like you have those.
Yeah.
And then you have like the weird shit.
Yeah, then you branch out to the like real crazy.
Because then you have like anything by Masaki Yusa.
Yeah.
Which is just fucking out there.
I feel like this season, what was that fucking show called? The one with this princess and the snow and blood or whatever it's called.
Oh, yeah.
It has an older art style. Even like Megaloboxing. Like, those are definitely in the weirder. I guess now they'd be considered weirder art styles to do. But I do like those over a lot of the shows I've seen in general.
I mean, part of that's probably a little bit nostalgia. Part of it's also just like, I feel like some of the older shows have a very different feel to their animation than, which obviously you can recreate digitally because I'm pretty sure Megalobox is done digitally.
Well, it has to be drawn digitally.
Yeah,
it takes way too much time not to at this point.
But it's meant to have that look, right? Yeah. As those times are long gone. And so I feel like it does have a very different feel to it. And sometimes it's nice too, and even like the regular shows mix things up.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched Grimgar, A Fantasy in Ash?
No.
Oh, okay. So it's an isekai. It's a little bit older as far as isekai are concerned. From the early days, from like the original Sword Art days, those days.
The good days.
Sure.
Miss those days.
But what I like about the animation style, story wise too, it's different because it's very realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like no one's overpowered.
Yeah.
The beginning of them is them getting shit on by goblins.
Poor guys. Yeah. That's why you fight the boars first. That's why you hit level like 10, and then you go fight the goblins.
Oh, just one goblin too.
Even worse.
But all the backgrounds are watercolor.
Wow, see, that's nice.
And so all the animation is your standard, like what you basic anime, kind of animation. Yeah. But you do have like that weird watercolory stuff in the back and stuff. And I do appreciate that a lot. Stuff like that. Just little mix-ups to the formula.
I think my favorite type of art styles, if you're going like in the weirder stuff, is like when you say you do the watercolor background, but then you do like really thick lines for characters. Ooh, for some reason, those two like
the cartooniness of it.
Well, not even the cartoony, but like almost sketchy. Like they're not perfect, and they're just like it's like thick and when you get those
like that.
Yeah, kind of like that. Well, kind of. Because that's thick line, but when it breaks, so you have like that hole in between your line.
Oh, yeah.
So it looks like you've been sketched almost. Yeah. I like that. Because this I like because it's like, it's very blocky. Because you can see the character. It's a circle. It's a goddamn circle.
Yeah.
With edges. And you're just like, it's very, it makes them look chunky.
Yeah.
Which I like. It's basic. It's dumb.
I hate it because I'm trying to remember a word because there's a name for I think what you're referring to.
Oh, fuck.
But that's because I remember I read it once.
It's okay. I took art history for about a semester. I don't remember any.
Well, this is out of this. This is just me going down weird rabbit holes for animation. But I think I looked at it from. There's a couple examples off the top of my head. One that does it a lot was the first season of One Punch Man.
Okay, yeah.
When you would get the really crazy fights.
Yeah.
Mob Psycho does the same thing.
Anything where you do the white background and all the whole character is just black sketches, lines. Or
just stuff like that. But even with color, where everything almost like blurs and like another thing too. Another example is did you watch the animated short for Blade Runner?
Yes.
2049.
Yeah.
The one done by that one director.
My favorite director. Don't forget him.
The Cowboy Bebop guy.
Yeah.
There's a flashback in there, and everything's all sketchy looking, like stuff like that.
To me, going back to the One Punch Man and Mob Psycho.
Yeah.
When you do stuff like that, besides like just the blur or the white lines, you get the blur. You said. To me, that kind of shows like you're entering a different like power level. Almost. You can almost see the power at that point.
Yeah.
Because you're changing reality so much that you realize you're like, oh, that if I got punched with that, obviously I'm gone.
And I think Madhouse does that a fair. Well, I mean, they used to, right? I think it depends on what they do.
Yeah.
Because I remember seeing that in stuff like Trigun and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
I do feel like you get a little bit of that in older stuff. Another one that came to mind that feels like that is Redline.
Oh yeah,
Redline was
where you
very
get the
much
stretch.
Yeah,
I do. That's another
like
really good scene. It's probably in my top. Like if I had to go scenes, when he hits the nos or whatever you want to say, where the car just fucking stretches, and you're like, damn, that's a long car.
See, I appreciate when like artistic anything, like does things that can only be done in its medium.
Yeah,
if that makes sense, right? Because I feel like there's things books can do better than anything else. I feel like there's things you can do in comics that is, you can only do in comics.
You're basically going, it's like books where you have this pure story and imagination, which is really good. You have comics, which is basically pictures. And you're like, oh, those pictures are beautiful. And then you got like animation, which you get a good mix, I think.
Yeah.
And then you have live action, which is garbage.
I feel like every artistic medium has its merits, but I feel like there's certain things that each one does better. For instance, like books give you the ability to go into characters' heads in a way that you can't really do in any other medium.
So I could argue anything written you can.
Yeah.
I'd say animation down to written.
Yeah, I mean, but it's not as easy to do.
No, I know. Without doing like a shot of the face and he's like this, thinking for 20 minutes.
Without the what's the tragedy way of going through things, like the play way, the Shakespeare way of having someone, the to be or not to be monologue. Yeah, right? You have your characters monologuing to the audience.
Yeah, the heartfelt moment that only you and him are connected, basically. In that moment.
Yeah, sure, but I mean, it's the character has to talk to the audience, basically, right? Because this is what's in my head, right? But I feel like that becomes. I feel like in some other mediums other than book, it ruins pacing when you have to do stuff like that a little bit. Of course, yeah. Especially when you start going into the visual mediums, obviously you go into territories where it's better, like with the show, don't tell.
Well, I think with visual mediums, there's a time thing.
Oh, there's that too.
Because you have a time limit, where a book you have zero time limit, except for your reading level.
Well, obviously. Because another thing I like, we'll say comics next, right?
Sure.
Because comics, I can always fall into the stereotype of it just being a movie that doesn't move.
Yeah, that's basically what it is.
Yeah, but I feel like I appreciate when you have artists and writers that take that and then do things that you wouldn't be able to do in animation.
Yeah.
For instance, you'll take something like Watchmen, right? Where they play with things like symmetry and like the way things are designed within the book itself, where the whole book in itself, just outside of the story, which is great, but the way the story is presented and the way the art is presented and the choices and colors and stuff completely differentiates it to the point where it's not a book. It's not like some animated thing or movie. It's its own thing.
Yeah.
And you can say like, oh, this is a comic book at its peak, right?
Yeah.
Like something that can only be seen in that medium.
Yeah.
I feel like animation. That's why I feel like those styles in animation is something I enjoy a lot. Because I feel like it's something you don't do in other mediums, or you can't do without it looking weird. Like you do a live action thing, and if something feels like as stretchy or something,
this looks wrong.
It looks wrong, right? And your brain just is like, I don't know,
like, this shot didn't work. Just throw that shot away, and we'll lose 5 minutes. It's okay.
Exactly, and I feel like that's when animation's at its peak. When you over exaggerate everything to a certain point, like. And I feel like when you mix that with almost like a certain cinematic feel, it provides just like this like it's like this weird, uncanny surrealness that lets you see stories in a much different way than the other medium, like a live action medium or a written medium would do.
Sure, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why I like, for instance, I do like a lot of what Tartakovsky does, just even with like the way he frames stuff like Samurai Jack, where he does borrow from like old westerns and like what's the name of the director that Seven Samurai? I don't remember off the top of my head anymore.
Does it start with
makes me sad. It might.
Never mind. I think it's I'm thinking of someone, but I know it's not.
Kurosawa.
No, okay.
But like, because he borrows, and there's framings of what he does that borrows a lot from like very cinematic approaches.
Yeah.
But then he also intermingles that
with the animation,
like with
style.
Very like,
yeah,
this is animation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like this show also has that feeling.
Yeah, exactly.
I think this show would be a great book.
I mean, it could. It doesn't have to have dialogue, right?
My favorite part, like in this book, would have been like, you know, spoilers to the last episode, where they're sitting down looking at each other for a good like minute and a half, and you're like,
if that was a book, you'd have a few pages on what's going through their heads.
No, I want nothing. I just want them looking at each other.
And it'd be a line.
No, yeah, no. I want like dots for at least 3 pages. That's all the whole thing. Like, it's like, oh, okay. It's like, I understand the scene now. That's probably how this scene was written. They're like, and they stare.
I can't remember what screenplay does something like this, where like they fucked with like the size of font and where it is and where they placed it to give it a sense of momentum, even within like the screenplay.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what movie that was.
Couldn't tell you.
I don't know, but
that's fine. Either way, from this show though, going back to it, I don't know. The plot was interesting. I'll say, we'll break it into 2 chunks. First 5, last 5, because it's basically 2 seasons how we got it. Mm-hmm. The first 5 was very basic. Like, not in a bad way, just like story-wise. It was, man makes friend with dinosaur. They fuck shit up all the way through until it's episode 5 when you get the weird voodoo monkeys.
Oh, yeah.
Where they just fuck each other up drinking cocaine, I'm guessing.
The black
or heroin
juice.
Or whatever it was. Yep. And then the last 5 was like spooky. Like,
spooky.
We got magic, monsters that go invisible.
Zombie dinosaurs.
Zombies. We got monkeys that have spears, and we got civilization.
Yep.
And then we got Ooga Booga in the middle.
Yep.
And you're like, what? As I said, you had like 4 fucking like timelines going on at the same moment. All I picture is like the last episode of season 2. He's gonna throw the spear, and some guy's gonna fucking AK him down from a helicopter, and you're gonna be like, "What's going on?"
It's gonna be like Attack on Titan, right? When they figure out there's a whole another civilization outside of their island.
That's basically what it's gonna be. You're like, so is he gonna build a boat? Is what you're telling me?
Yeah, he's gonna cast away that shit, dude.
Dude, imagine having a dinosaur on your castaway,
his dinosaur's gonna be fucking Wilson, dude.
Fuck that. Wilson's gonna get hungry. He's gonna eat your ass. So he doesn't want to get in the fucking ocean. That's like
you carry a caribou with you.
Here's one food.
He's like, you gotta pace this. Right now, you could have a foot. Tomorrow, you could have the hand.
He's like, okay. And you look away, and then the thing's gone. He's like, fuck. And he's just fishing the rest of the life. You send it fishing. Yeah, it's like did you ever watch Life of Pi? Yeah. Yeah, the fucking tiger. And the fucking,
Yeah.
Well, I just fight. If I was Life of Pi, I'd just jump in the water and breathe. Just be like, this is easier.
Wait, you don't want to chill with the tiger?
No. What am I going to do? He's just going to eat me. I'd rather die by breathing than die by eating from a tiger. But, you know, I guess you can go Ooga Booga style and
you become
friends with it.
Hunt
and then he eats you later because he's hungry anyway. But, I don't know. The show. It's one of those shows I really liked, but I almost have nothing to say about it because there was like
it's just good.
There's nothing to say without like just spoiling every episode.
Like I said, it's just good. I mean, it's prime. It's what you want from something like this.
Like this is like a good TV show that hits different.
Sure. Like remember when it's funny because this comes out, right?
Sure.
Remember when Far Cry Primal came out?
Oh,
that
man.
was another one too.
I wanted to play that game so bad, but I was burnt out of that game. It's like, you want another one? Another one? Fuck you.
But there was that. I remember when live action was. Did you ever watch 10,000 BC?
Oh yeah, with fucking what's his name, the comedian.
No.
Oh, is it? Oh, the other one.
No,
Year
the
one.
action
I was thinking of Year One.
Year One. Is
I
the
have
comedy.
seen 10,000 BC too. Yes.
Yeah. It's funny when you look at all these things like Cavemen. There's another movie. Oh boy, where is it? It's in my head. It's Ron Perlman's first film.
Hellboy.
No. It's like The Quest for Fire or something like that. It's made by some artsy French director.
Of course.
Of
course.
But it's about cavemen, and it's the first movie Ron Perlman's in because he makes a perfect caveman.
He has the face for it. Sorry again.
I mean, he's a boss, but
let's say he's got a look. he would make a good Ooga Booga face.
He would make a good Ooga Booga.
I don't think he's square enough. Like, he's pretty square, but that's like, dude, look, he's almost as wide as the goddamn T-Rexes. That's Ooga Booga and a half.
Ooga Booga.
But except for characters, like in my mind, you have two. You have Ooga Booga and a dinosaur.
You know what I do like about this one, like if you're going to do the comparison between this and Samurai Jack?
Yeah.
Samurai Jack is very much like the lone wolf
kind
of thing, right? It's very like a Clint Eastwood-ish,
That's basically
good, bad,
what it
and
is.
ugly.
That's what all samurais are. They just, both of them are cowboys.
The whole Ronin. Yeah. Well, I mean, Kurosawa kind of made that.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
it's
made
like
that the stereotype, right?
It's the one man can kill everything. Like, okay.
But it's interesting to me where you see this one, where you do have the lone guy, but he's got a buddy.
Oh yeah,
he's got a dinosaur. They're best buds.
No, he's a dick. Remember when he stole that fucking potato instantly? You're like, damn, what an asshole.
But I mean, it's because you get something the character can play off of, which Samurai Jack does every so often, right? You get like the Scotsman and some of the other characters.
Yeah.
But it's interesting seeing one that like is there the whole time, right? Where they're kind of like bouncing off each other
all the way.
And and now like there's a kind of a character arc that I feel like you don't fully see in something like Samurai Jack.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Samurai Jack's character, excluding maybe the final season, doesn't really change.
No, he's just the lone wolf that fucking wants to kill. Fuck, I don't remember his name. Aku. Yeah, there you go.
Uncle Iroh.
You can't kill Uncle Iroh. He kills him at the end. No. Yeah.
But I feel like that's it's interesting because that's the thing. Like thinking about it now, it's like I don't feel like Samurai Jack really has a character arc until you hit that final season and they decide to give him one.
Yeah. Well, to me the final season's good. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But it's almost not needed. Like the only thing that's needed is him killing or getting killed by Aku. That kind of just is the closure you need. But I don't think you needed all the weird, like, the ladies and stuff, and just, like, making him almost human, where he hasn't been human for 90%
that's
of the film.
I mean, and that's...
Or show.
Well, that's the thing, too, because, like, you watch everything, and he's just always this character.
Yeah.
He's just always the lone badass.
Yeah. He'll help when he needs to, and he doesn't want to get anything in return, but he just wants to be by himself.
Yeah. For instance, like a good example of, I think, a good way of doing that kind of character now is looking at John Wick.
Okay.
Because John Wick, like, especially when you see the first movie, it spends a lot of time at the beginning to try to make him as human as possible before he goes
berserk.
In human Superman.
Yeah.
But I feel like it does a lot because it does a lot for his character. Because every decision he makes from that point. And everything he does, there is an underlying like humanity to the Baba Yaga that he is.
Oh, I do see that. I definitely see that in the Samurai Jack. Yeah. Where I feel like you do feel the humanity from him through the whole thing, but he still has that lone wolf. And then the final season's like, hey, he's still a lone wolf, but here's another character. And you're like,
I mean, there's
sure.
that, but like he's a very different character then though too.
Oh yeah,
because he's very. I mean, obviously, at the end of the original run, right, he loses basically, which
pretty
is
much
kind of where that season starts off at.
Yeah,
because it's weird because he like loses. I remember, and then the original run goes like into his past.
Yeah.
And it shows of him like when he's younger, introducing these characters, and then it stops.
Yep.
And I'm just like,
it's canceled.
Yeah, and then it's like, what happened? And then they did the final season, and he has like which I mean is not my favorite thing, but he kind of pulls like the Luke, Last Jedi kind of Luke.
Yeah.
The nihilistic, like I'm fucked.
I
was the badass.
I've already lost.
But I lost.
I've lost one, so you're like, it's over.
But that's the problem with those kinds of characters, I think, though, right?
Well, yeah,
like to a certain degree.
Because you're so strong and you win all the way through, but once you lose, it's like, oh, it's over. It's like, fuck it, I'm putting up to retirement.
And I feel like, I mean, it's a thing that happens with those characters, and that's why I always do kind of appreciate the character that loses on the trajectory upwards. Yeah. So instead of, because I feel like it's obviously the idea of the old saying, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Sure. Right. So like when you knock a character down off their pedestal when they're way up here, then they go way down here, and then they become this really kind of like edgy dude.
My favorite. I love my edgy characters.
They become Ronin.
I love that one guy from Naruto.
The Sasuke guy.
Yeah, favorite character.
Yeah, but I mean he's just edgy from the get go. No, but like I mean it's you get that weird character that was like and then I'm down here and then I'm like
then he starts to get a little bit better.
Which is why I almost kind of like how the John Wickish approach to it, where you see him kind of like past that point, right? He was already the badass, and then he went down. But I mean, that's kind of like the retired hero trope too, right?
I feel like it's more what he is. Yeah. It's more the retired hero trope than the badass to depressed to whatever now. He's just like, I've been through it all. You want to fuck with me?
I got nothing to lose now, bitch.
He's like, what am I going to die? That's fine. I'm like 900 years old in my head. But
So I don't know. It's just it's just interesting, and I always do feel like heroes sometimes need to lose in their stories at some point. It just has to happen, or else it's not great.
Yeah. Well, going into this show now, it'll be interesting to see where it goes from here. Yeah. Because like I said, the joke was he's going to take a boat to build a boat and fucking fly over with his magic boat.
Pterodactyl.
Yep. He's going to friend the pterodactyl. He's going to grab the T-Rex by the shoulders.
It's going to be like Godzilla vs. Kong.
Oh, I can't wait.
Can't wait for Mothra. Oh, you know what's so funny?
What?
Oh, okay. So, I mean, this is just an homage, but the stupid shot from Godzilla vs. Kong. You know how they carried him in the helicopters?
Yeah.
Right?
I won't forget that.
That's in the original film.
I know it is. It doesn't make the original film any better.
I know. I'm just saying.
Not saying the original film's good.
I'm just saying.
It's not.
I'm saying. I just thought that was funny because
Well, that's why I was joking when they were like on the boat and they're like, "We can't move." I'm like, "They're gonna fly him," and then they start flying him. Next scene, I'm like, "I hate this movie."
But nostalgia for us. No, I'm just kidding.
Fuck nostalgia. I want the rubber man in the rubber suit going. That's what I want. That's what I got from this show. I got the dinosaur going. See the rubber man, ooga booga over there with his rubber spear. I don't know. From the show too, you get good violence too, a lot of blood. I don't feel like you got that in Samurai Jack. To me, Samurai Jack was more like you cut someone in half.
Because they couldn't do it. It was like a Cartoon Network kids show. They made all of it.
This is on Cartoon Network too.
That's on Adult Swim, and
same, dude.
No, it's not the same thing. And for Samurai Jack, they just made all his enemies robots. So all the blood is black, and it's just oil.
Yeah.
Which is then you get the last season of it, and the last season actually is the bloody mess that something like this is.
Yeah, which just makes more sense.
Yeah.
But as I said, I do like it. It'll be interesting to see where they go because it said you had the dinosaurs, magic fuckery. Romans?
The Romans.
No, those were fucking... That was The Rock, motherfucker. Scorpion King up in here is gonna fucking...
They're the Assyrians.
Yeah. Well, who do you want to win? Ooga Booga or The Rock?
Ooga Booga.
What? You think The Rock is worse than Ooga Booga?
I'm not saying he's worse.
But this... I mean, this is...
I just want to watch Ooga Booga win.
Yeah, but this is Scorpion King at his finest.
Fuck that movie.
You're gonna get,
Booga
so
wins.
it's gonna be Ooga Booga in this animation versus Scorpion King CG'd on the screen.
I want Ooga Booga to win.
They're gonna fight. It's gonna be like The Grudge versus The Ring. They're gonna fight each other.
Yeah.
That's also what was on Shudder. I'm gonna make Bob watch. Been talking about that garbage, but I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Like, is he gonna get technology? Is he gonna get like? Is he gonna chain people up?
He already has technology, dude.
He's got a bow.
He's got a bow, and he
he
learned
shoots
how to
spears.
use. He shoots spears with his bow. What more technology does Ooga Booga need?
Shield, armor. He's gonna have armor in next episode. He's gonna be like a
He's
fucking.
gonna be like the Hulk.
He's gonna be a crusader. No, he's gonna be a crusader. Ooga Booga Crusader.
He's gonna be like Deus Volt, but it's gonna be like whatever dinosaur in Latin is.
Mm-hmm.
Dinosaur actually probably is dinosaur in Latin, but
Probably.
yeah. It's gonna be like the dinosaur wills it. Dinosaur
Dude.
Volt.
You can be like in Minecraft, diamond armor on your dinosaur.
Yeah.
It's so fucking stupid.
No, he's gonna become like a fuck. What is it? It's gonna be like Turok. That's
Yeah.
what this is gonna turn into.
I can see
It's gonna turn into
exploding
fucking,
bows.
Yeah,
and
it's gonna
fucking.
turn into fucking.
What's that? I'm
Turok.
telling you, the last episode.
Guns on top of dinosaurs.
Last episode, there's gonna be a fucking helicopter with an AK guy shooting out the window. You're gonna be like, okay, this show just went
I'm
somewhere.
trying to think of Turok. That's what I'm thinking of.
Forgot about that game. That game's so fucking old now. Oh my god. But, I don't know. I'll be happy to see what happens to this. I said they got season
it's a good
2.
show. Yeah.
But speaking of another season, another show that's getting a season.
What?
Season 4,
Of what?
Castlevania.
Oh yeah, I mean
That comes out. No, that comes out like soon.
Oh.
So I was looking up. So season 4 will debut May 13th.
Yatta!
And since I got you all happy, last season.
That's fine.
So
I don't know where else it was.
I don't know where I was gonna go either.
I think
I think
already in
basic-
territory outside of where I thought it
yeah.
was going to be. So you know, whatever.
Well, I was wondering if they were just gonna like move away from them and bring in the other Belmonts or bring in the other like random characters.
The only other thing I would like, I mean, this is just as a fan of Castlevania, is to see Richter
If he comes through.
and Symphony of the Night, like
See, that'd be
that
cool.
ish kind of thing. That like I mean, Alucard's already there.
Yeah.
That's like the only thing as a fan I would like. And maybe they'll do an homage to it or something in this, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it'll go into those territories.
I can see that, or them doing it like maybe another season, like later on, or another show considered. Because I feel like they're gonna get rid of this show,
Yeah.
and they're gonna bring back the god Zeus of Blood,
Blood of Zeus, yeah.
There you go. And they're gonna bring that show back in because I feel like that show obviously is done by the same people, and it has different visions, but it'll be that show that tries to replace it when it disappears.
I can see that. You know what'd be cool? Because Blood of Zeus is dope.
Yeah.
If we saw like other mythologies get that treatment.
That'd be cool. You could do Blood. I was trying to think of the rename of Zeus and the
Dude,
other language.
You know what'd be like great? Would be like an animated series
Blood of Odin. There you go.
on like the Ulster cycle.
Oh,
It's Irish mythology.
I feel like Irish mythology is not a thing, though. No one gives a shit about
But
them.
it's so good.
Who cares?
It's so good.
Name one thing that has it in it.
Huh?
Name one game that has it in it.
I can name, but I'm not gonna do it though.
I'm ready. Name's the garbage.
It isn't fate, but
Garbage. Get that shit out of here. Everything's in that fucking thing. It doesn't count.
but it's in the original run of Fate,
It
not the
doesn't
extra
count. It doesn't matter. Everything's in the original thing of Fate anyway. They don't count. That'll be interesting to see if people will grab from that. Because even like if you look at God of War, you went to Norse mythology.
Well, everything went Norse.
Yeah, well that's true. I guess they did. Like everyone's like, this year we're doing Norse. Next 10 years.
Because that's what it was. I mean, you had God of War. I mean, Greek was always the thing.
Oh, yeah.
Greek has been the thing
since Greek was a thing. Like Jesus came down and he's like, Greek.
Well, yeah, I think in the Bible too, like there's letters that fucking Paul wrote against Greek gods.
So you're telling me is by time Norse mythology is done, it'll be 2,000 years from now. Then we can move on.
Yeah. But I mean that's kind of funny when you think about it. I mean, if you look at film, I think some of the earliest film is Greek stuff.
Of course. It's fucking so crazy what they, I don't know if the word is believe in, what they did, whatever you want to use there. And it's such a good story, like just to go
it's all so good.
That's why Celtic sucks, because it doesn't last 2,000 years.
I mean, it did, kind of. It's just not as heavily proliferated as Greek stuff.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see if you do get shows that you kind of move away from the normal gods. I think the problem is it's more of a selling point.
I know.
At this point, it's like, you know Zeus, you've heard of him 10 million times. Here's 11.
Because I do appreciate because I mean it's kind of nice seeing the brutality that is mythology. Because all it is. All mythology is.
All gods is just they just want to fucking dick around people and then.
So it's nice kind of seeing that. And I do. It would be cool to see that same treatment with stuff like Egyptian and stuff like that. Do you want to go really fucking crazy? Just any of like the Mesoamerican mythologies, are gnarly in almost the same ways that Norse is in its own. I mean, I think the only reason why Norse is the next one we gravitate towards is because the fantasy genre is so big.
Well, yeah,
and that's a big like.
Where it grabs it from.
Yeah, that's where it takes.
I also feel like it's not too far of a jump from Egyptian to Norse.
Or Greek to Norse.
Greek to Norse, because they have like powers and they're all fucking killing people. Where it's like, what are you gonna jump to? Like Asian mythology is just fucking gods that are either really nice to each other or they're weird.
True.
There's nothing like super out there.
Hindu
is pretty great.
Hindu's pretty gnarly.
But is there a lot of work? I've never read most of Hindu stuff. I've read a little bit.
The Bhagavad Gita.
Okay.
And some of the other. There's a lot. I mean, it is a fully,
I know
it's still a religion.
Yeah. Well, I know that.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm not going to want mythology on Jesus. He doesn't really smite anyone. He's kind of boring.
No, but I guess the better example would be like Judaism, right?
Yeah.
But that's not something that you'll see. I mean, the story of Samson would make a very gnarly animated thing. I mean, sure, I want to see 10,000 dudes be killed by a jawbone.
That sounds like a really long episode.
It'd be like one of these episodes. It's like instead of 10,000 dinosaurs, it's 10,000 Philistines.
Dude, he gets a draw
and it's Ooga Booga with a goat jawbone doing all the killing.
Oh god,
with long hair too.
Oh my, it's the same guy.
It's the same guy.
Jesus robes on him, and it's,
that's different. That's different. Samson's a different guy.
Does he also wear Jesus robes though? Does he have like long robes?
I don't know. It predates that time period, technically. I mean, it's Old Testament. It's like early Old Testament, too.
That's true. Well, they had some type of clothing, I'm guessing.
Like the Ooga Booga.
Ooga Booga doesn't wear clothing. He would have dick out if he was not a cartoon. You know that. Yeah.
But like, I mean, that's what I said. Well, that's why I like the idea of like the Celtic mythos. Because it's very similar to Norse.
Sure.
In its idea, but it's also very Greek.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you do have, like, demigods, and there's still people and kings and stuff. But then you have... And, I mean, it's not too far of a shot, because that's where you get fairies from.
Okay.
All that idea of, the fae, the fair folk.
Yeah.
All that comes from Irish mythology.
Makes sense.
And you get that weirdness mixed with people like Cuchulainn and... what's that guy's name? Fionn MacCumhaill, and all these other heroes of that are very like almost Herculean.
Yeah.
Very, and I mean they would be parallels to people like Achilles and Hercules and stuff like that.
I can see that.
Or because if you look at like the thing with Norse mythology, it too is there's no human element to Norse mythology. No. Everything is the gods.
Yeah, there's the gods and then people.
Because I feel like that's why Greek is so accessible. Because it's not just that, right? It's the interaction between humanity and the gods that are like humanity, just superpowered.
Sure. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, then you get people like Hercules and Perseus and Theseus. And
Demigods and
yeah,
shit.
you get demigods. And that just like weird dichotomy of the weirdness of the mixing of the two.
Yeah, I can see that.
Right? And it lets you play with the weird pseudo-humanity of what the universe is. Where I feel like Norse mythology is very just, the gods do crazy shit. That's why crazy shit happens.
Yeah, and he was like, okay, I'm going to stay away from that day.
Yeah, I think I can think of only like one real human story. I mean, you have Sigurd, or Germanically Siegfried.
Yeah.
And his story where he gets Graham and fights Fafnir and stuff.
Yeah, that's the dragon.
I had to go through a few dragon names in my head.
How do you forget? He plays video games. How do you forget that?
I don't know, man. My brain went to the Nidhogger, but that's a different dragon. Same mythology, different dragon.
That's a different game. You sacrifice yourself to that one.
That's a fun. But Fafnir, right?
Yeah.
And that's like the only one I can really think of.
Yeah,
I don't
know. It'll be interesting to see if you get more mythos in general, or if they're going to be like, we're still going to grab from the same few. I don't see most places moving in general.
Because the other, I mean, obviously the other thing to me, like there's some African mythologies that are just dope.
Yeah.
I mean, Mesoamerican.
Sorry, anything below the equator doesn't count.
Mesoamerican mythology.
Then you're fine. Love the equator.
The Inca stuff, I don't even know what the Incas believe in.
Who?
But Maya and Aztec, I know exactly what they believe in.
Yeah.
And those are just gnarly ass stories in themselves.
Well, if you think about it, all his story is just gnarly.
Oh, yeah.
Just everyone killing everyone, and then Ooga Booga got smart, and they only killed a little bit amount of people. Changes. It's like, we killed 10,000 for no reason. Now we kill 200 for no reason. And then we go mass genocide, but we don't talk about that.
And every once in a blue moon, we kill 1 million in one shot.
No,
Boom.
no clue.
Yeah.
That never happened. Yeah. It'll be interesting what Netflix does to, I don't know if I want to say make up.
I don't make up. It's just new stuff.
The problem is they are putting out constantly new stuff.
Yeah.
And they are putting out another one of your favorite shows.
Oh, shit.
Because, you love killing your favorite stuff,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, obviously.
So, what is it? Gundam. You ever heard of that show? Gundam?
Yeah, sure. What about it?
Yeah, they're making a live action show.
Oh, yeah, I know. I heard about that. Yeah, it's going to be straight ass garbage.
It's directed by Jordan something Roberts. Vogt?
Oh, I did read this. I can't remember what he did. Because he's done something else.
He did Kong of Skull Island.
Oh, that's what it was. It was Skull Island.
Yeah.
Never mind, that's what it was.
Y for Yes Man. He did some screenplays and stuff.
Oh. But Skull Island was the one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Because he did Skull Island. Which, I mean, if it has like that Skull Island feel to it, I don't mind. You know?
Skull Island was good, but I don't know. I don't know how you do live action Gundam.
You can. But the problem is Gundam is so varied in what it is.
Well, the problem
you
is
have to decide, like, what... Are you doing, like, supernatural magical Gundam?
Yeah.
Or are you doing, like, down-to-earth war drama Gundam?
Well, that's what it's got to be down to earth, because there's no way they're going to do space shots of Gundams going whoosh, flying around, shooting each other, and being like...
But even the down-to-earth, like, Gundam has that.
True.
But not in the same...
But it's more gritty.
Yeah, because, like... Yeah, it is. Like... I mean, like a good comparison. Easier. You take if you're looking at newer ones, right, within the UC timeline, because that's the better place to pull from. Because AU is all magical funniness, except for maybe no IBO is not. But you can take the difference between like Thunderbolt and Unicorn, where Unicorn is of the former of the magical funness.
Okay.
Kind of mixed in with a little bit of the war drama, because it takes place in that same universe, right?
Sure.
But there's the magical funness. We start getting into new types and stuff like that. But then you have Thunderbolt, which is supposed to be like at the very beginning of everything, and it's just a war drama.
Yeah.
Except with the fights in space.
True. I don't know what they'll choose. I just saw it and I read the article and I laughed. I'm like, this is gonna be garbage. I don't even want to watch it.
Like I said, there's different ways you can do it. I mean, you can Pacific Rim it.
It's gonna be Pacific Rim. That's what they're gonna do.
Or you can Apocalypse Now it with big mechs.
Yeah.
Because that's what Gundam is.
Yeah. I don't know. Either way, I feel like they're gonna have to try to ground it. Otherwise, it's gonna be like watching Pacific Rim, but they're flying in space and shitty CG. And no one wants that.
Because I feel like IBO is a good mixture. Because almost everything takes place like planet side.
Yeah.
Whether it be Mars or Earth. But like, and I feel like that has a much more grittier, like in your face feel. Because there's no laser beams either.
No.
Until like later on in season 2, where they introduced that there used to be laser beams, but no one uses them anymore.
Because,
yeah, exactly. Because everyone kill each other off with the laser beams. So you use
too much
weapons.
It's like the famous saying, I know what World War III is going to be using nukes, and I know World War IV is going to be fucking sticks and stones, basically.
Blunt weapons.
He's going to beat each other again. Here we go.
I always thought that was one of the funniest part, like the greatest parts of IBO too, because like everything felt like it had weight.
Yeah.
Because everything was like blunt force.
Yeah.
The hitting stuff.
It's not laser beams that just blow you up because, that's how lasers work.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I don't know.
It'll be. I don't know. I just don't care.
That's fine. That's how I saw it. I'm like, I'll probably watch it at some point because it's garbage.
Yeah, I just don't care. I have a feeling I know what you know what it's going to be like. It's going to be like the scene from Ready Player One with the Gundam when it fights Mechagodzilla.
If that happens, I'm not going to watch it. Period. Because that was garbage.
Yeah, I know, but I feel like that I could see that.
Yeah.
Being the thing.
Anyway, fuck that. I'm going to just jump on some news articles because they're pushing time. Okay. So you remember the old fucking Pokemon Snap? You can get your pictures printed?
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking... Where was it? What was that place called? Where you could rent movies?
Blockbuster?
Yeah. You remember that old place?
I'm not gonna lie. My brain went to Kinko's because you print stuff at Kinko's.
Well, mine went to Best Buy for some reason. I'm like, that's not the right bees.
I went to Kinko's,
but I guess in Japan you can print your shit at Lawson's, which is gonna be cool,
especially with the new one.
Yeah,
with the new one that comes out pretty soon too, doesn't it?
It's pretty soon.
It's pretty soon.
I know it's April 30th. At the end of the month. Well, when I get stabbed, I can go play Pokemon Go while I die in my car.
Yeah.
That's going to be great. Anyway, so that's a funny news article. We're going to go on Nintendo still. Big Bowser penis has been removed from Patreon. It's very sad.
Oh.
I guess, Nintendo copyrighted
Bowser's penis.
There's a 3D model.
With him in the penis?
I think, I'm betting it's a sex toy. There was a picture at some point. I don't see it anymore. But I just saw it, and I thought it was funny that it was a Patreon thing, and, Nintendo fucking was like, nope. Give me this is my penis. So they own now Big Bowser's big penis.
Pretty sure you can just go on Bad Dragon in the future, and you're going to see something that's called, like, Wowzer's penis.
Mm-hmm. I can't wait. We'll buy 7 of those. And then we're going to talk about, real quick, Best Boy. The Waiva house husband, tattoos removed in China, so he has no tattoos within the fucking show.
But that's like,
I can actually put this one on the screen. So
but that's like that's like the whole Yakuza thing.
Well, that's what I was saying. So they literally removed in all the scenes where he would have tattoos. It was just
that takes work.
That's a lot of scenes.
That takes work.
I didn't fully read the articles because I don't fucking give a shit. But
that's
I thought
kind of funny.
I'm like, why'd they do that to Best Boy?
Because it's China.
Yeah.
China doesn't like having fun.
Oh, and a new segment. My mom watched this show. 10 out of 10, she said.
Because it's fucking great.
Mm-hmm. So I wanted to make sure you knew that she thought it was the best show she's seen so far.
It's kind of funny because you look at things now too, and there's like people are like, oh, they're fans. I wanted it better animated. Like I feel like the animation lends itself to the show.
Well, I feel like what it is, it's almost going back. It's a comic book with voice acting.
Yeah.
So, which is fine. I think it's fine.
But I feel like with the derpiness of what it is, it works.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, there's certain scenes that you need the still frames.
Yeah.
Which is it's going back to comic to animation.
I can understand.
Yeah.
Wanting something smoother, I guess, but then it's not like I don't know.
Well, it's like watching your favorite anime and then they say it's CG.
Yeah.
And you go like, God damn it!
Yeah.
Why'd they do that to me?
Yeah, that's a little bit worse. I get that.
Yeah. So it's in the same complaint
area. It's like the Spider Show.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me so sad.
Yeah. That's what I said.
It's still really good. So.
I do see that being in the same
genre.
It's like, oh man. Oh, and I forgot. I just remembered this one moment. I got a real quick unboxing to show you. So.
Oh, the cheap shit you bought.
Yeah. So Right Stuff had an April Fool's sale. So I bought two things that were 79 cents blind boxes. And so I'm like, you know what? It's like $4 shipping. I'll do it, but I'll buy something I want so I can make the shipping worth it.
Yeah.
So I got the box. Someone opened it.
Okay.
So let me show it. Well, we'll do it this way because I can grab it and not reveal the spoiler. So this is what I bought for myself. So I bought the hardcover Soul Eater.
That's dope.
They have I don't know how many of them are in it, but they have, I think, 8 volumes of those, hardcover versions. So I was like, for one of my favorite shows, I might as well buy that.
This is dope.
Yeah, so I got that.
Let's see the fun stuff.
And then the fun things. What do you think they can be? Obviously, it's a square. Stickers? Okay, stickers are good. I know we talked about being those shitty...
the foils.
The folder things.
The slips. Clear files.
There you go.
But no, it's too small
for that, right? And you're like, I wouldn't think they would give us a figure.
A mini print.
Ooh, mini print. That's a good one. No, we got stuff better.
Is it a figure?
No. I'm gonna show you. I'll show you one at a time.
Is it a button?
Ooh, button's good. No.
Is it a patch?
No. We got a fucking DVD of Spiritual Earth Aloha Waves.
Nalu Fuloa.
So when you're tired and you can't go to sleep, you put the ocean waves on.
Nenjiro H. Sato, a top photographer is surfing. There's a sticker there in Hawaii. Captures giant earth-shaking surf, breathtaking.
It's just ocean waves. That's the movie. When you want to go to sleep.
Chapters: Aloha, green and blue. Nalu Ola mix, underwater.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I think
Aloha
that's racist.
Dome, super gold underwater. No, that's what it says right there.
That's pretty racist. I'd be worried.
Super blue underwater. Super. I don't know. That's what's on the thing.
Mm-hmm. That's racist.
How?
Yes. So that's one of the 2 things I got for 79 cents.
Okay, what was the other one?
So the other one is even better.
Oh, okay.
These are the best stickers I've gotten so far.
Oh, they're stickers!
It's called Crash and
Burns
with a Y. So this is our movie. I think we're gonna watch this upcoming weekend.
Terrorism doesn't stand a chance if they don't kill each other first.
So for $1, what, 60? This is what I got.
Retired CIA agent Jack Crash Riley is recruited back to assist in the capture of the nation's most notorious bioterrorist Lizette Martinez, after being reluctantly paired with young DEA agent Roman Burns, known for his shoot-first, ask-questions-later tactics. These 2 lethal weapons joined forces with CIA electronics expert Rebecca Jordan in a race against time to prevent the world's most deadly virus from being unleashed.
COVID. This is a COVID. Dude, we gotta watch this stuff. So we're gonna have a review on Ocean Waves,
and
Aloha Waves, and Crash and Burns next week.
I was not expecting DVDs.
So when I opened the box, I'm like, because I saw the box, being the size as it was, and I'm like, it's probably like a little trinket or something stupid. And then I opened it because I wanted to make sure there wasn't anything in there that I don't know what would be in there.
Yeah.
So all I did was I tipped the paper over and I saw there were 2 DVDs and I saw this one. I saw the names of them and I'm like, I don't think that's anime. So for $1.60,
you get Crash and Burns and Aloha Waves.
I think I will be throwing these away at some point.
After we watch them, yeah, sure. I like how the other one is just like. The
I
other
will
one
just
just
throw
says
that one away.
Pioneer. Why? You don't want just like white noise, dude? Just, I don't
I
know.
listen to podcasts for that.
But you could have
Ocean
waves.
See, the issue is like white noise is great, but I don't like when there's white sound blasting into my eyes while I tried to sleep. So the noise is fine. If this was a CD, easy, I'd watch that. But since it's not, it's very counterintuitive.
You don't want to take a nap by the ocean, dude?
Dude, this was made between 95 and 99.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
How old is this garbage? I don't see it.
Let me see.
Well, we gotta watch that at some point now. Just because I got it. I don't want to, but I think it'll be a funny review.
It doesn't say.
Can these two Lethal Weapons... I wonder if this came out after Lethal Weapon.
Oh, obviously.
I'm gonna guess like 89. It's 92 minutes. Great. Hour and a half I gotta kill.
Crash and burn.
Dude, this guy's got the most 90s hairstyle. I don't know if you can see it. But he's got like that boy band where it's like somewhat spiky. He just needs to frost the tips and he can be like from NSYNC or something.
Yeah. Dude, this is... There's not even like an IMDb rating.
Ooh. That means we can be the first to review it.
Oh, no, it does. Oh boy. Okay.
Well,
Guess
we'll
the
watch
year.
that later.
Guess the year.
I said 89.
No, it's too early.
Too early? So I'm guessing after Lethal Weapon, 75.
Way too early.
69.
I told you it's too early.
42.
The other way.
1942.
Yes, it came out in 42. No, dude, came out in 2000.
How does this come out in 2000? It looks like it came out in like 70s. The hairstyle would make it look 90s. But
Yep, there you go.
1920. That's crazy.
Got a 4.6 out of 10.
That's better than most of the movies we watch. So, that will be our review sometime in the future.
Can't be worse than Jiu-Jitsu, right?
I hope not. Anyway, I think I'm going to end it here.
Best case scenario would be like Brick Mansions.
Ooh. If not, we can dub it over.
Hey.
I want to be the guy with the 90s hairstyle.
Hey.
Anyway, thanks for watching this
Rando podcast without the Bob.
I think it was much better. Much better.
Bob, we lost your dog.
We found him, don't worry. But you will never watch this. So.
You're going to watch it this far. I mean, at the beginning, who knows? Maybe the beginning made you watch the whole thing, right? Yeah. Maybe you inferred it was you we were talking about at the beginning. That we lost your dog.
Well, we didn't lose his dog. Technically, another dog opened the door, so the other dog was trying to make the other dog leave. And we weren't here for that.
But it's all good. It's all kosher.
But, if you want to support the Lost Dog Foundation, you can click on our Etsy up here. Donate to We Found His Dog, don't worry. He'll be much happier not knowing maybe what happened in today's podcast. Check out our Instagrams. I'll leave Bob's
there,
right
somewhere.
there. It'll at Guillermo del Toro on Instagram.
Under Guillermo.
At Guillermo del Toro on Instagram. I guess.
Does he have an Instagram? I haven't looked.
I have no clue.
He has Twitter.
At Twitter. But see you next time, guys.
Peace.